I started playing the violin when I was 10 years old. I was in 5th grade, and my grandfather let me borrow his fiddle, so I learned on a real West Virginia fiddle with a rattlesnake tail on the inside of it.
I started learning music, not necessarily bass, but I started when I was in 6th grade. I started playing handbells. Out of all instruments, I started playing handbells. At the time, my sister was learning piano, so I took what I learned on learning sheet music and just music theory. I taught myself how to play piano, guitar. Still not that great, but somewhat. And from then, I started playing bass in the church at the age of 14 in high school.
Yeah, so we've been worshiping 14 years together.
That sounds about right.
In the early 2000s, my favorite musical groups were POD, Thousand Foot Crutch, and then I liked Flyleaf and Relient K.
For me, I was all over the place. I liked mostly rock, but the more that I started getting into rock, the heavier I found that I liked it. I liked, the screaming, I remember my first concert, I guess I'll put it like this. My first concert was Norma Jean. And from then on, it was like an addiction. I got into heavier and heavier music. But if I were to say like my favorite bands, I loved Under Oath, kind of going through middle and high school.
I have a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education. I also have a Master's in Teaching Literacy, and I'm a certified literacy coach.
And I didn't go to college. So if I had to spend the day with someone that I've never met, I would want to meet Tom Hanks and just kind of pick his brain a little bit. I've always had like a fascination with him. The movies that he's done with Toy Story, and my favorite movie of all, I love Forrest Gump, because it just reminds me of me and Michelle, because Michelle's my Gen A, and I'm a little on the slow side. If anybody's met me, I'm not. Well, I can't run fast either, so I'm not really like Forrest. But Michelle's my Gen A.
I was inspired to be a teacher when I was in 1st grade. I knew that that's what I wanted to do the rest of my life. I just had such a great kindergarten, 1st grade teacher, and I wanted to be able to have the same effect on kids.
For me, what inspires me is just getting in the presence of God. I don't know, when you're just in the presence and you're able just to sing from your heart, your spirit, it just, for me as a songwriter, I can't help but just write down music. It's not that that's my goal going into the presence, but I'm just really digging in the presence. It's like coming out with gold, and it may not be for everybody. Maybe anthems that I feel that congregations should sing, but a lot of times even it's just the more personal revelation and just the little gold nuggets that God gives you just to sing over the season that you're going through.
Our community is our family. We do life together. We eat lunch together and dinner, and we celebrate together, and we go on vacations together, and our community uplifts us when we're down, and we're able to uplift our friends and family. So community is so important to us.
Community is important to me because I am a people person. I like to be around people. I like to be crazy. I like people to notice me sometimes. Okay, all the time. And even if it's the most embarrassing things, I just like people. I like making people laugh. I like having fun. And there's days when I like to be alone, but for the most part, I really like being around people.
I think my word would be peaceful. I want people to see over me just an atmosphere of peace, that I can bring peace to a situation and peace to calm to a storm.
See, there's a difference between wanting to be described and then just being described. I would like to be described as
Handsome.
beautiful, handsome, majestic, fabulous. But I'm more like a unicorn. I'm unique. I'm one in a million. I'm a diamond in the rough. There's only one Kyle Power, except for my clone son that I named Levi so he wouldn't bear the same name. But other than that, I want to be unique.
I would ask God about all the great mysteries of the world. I want to know what happened to the dinosaurs, how did Stonehenge get the rocks in that formation, all those kinds of questions we wonder. And
I want to know if Tupac is dead or not. That's one mystery I want to know. If I had to ask God a question, it would be why. I mean, I know the answer. I know an answer to this, but I just sometimes in some circumstances, I just don't understand disease sometimes. Definitely when it hits home, and you know, Michelle's grandmother had Alzheimer's. My grandmother has Alzheimer's, and it's a very, you know, it's a rough disease to go through as a family, because definitely when it's a parent and they don't remember their children and their grandchildren, it's really hard. And, you know, even in our circumstance where we've had close friends who, you know, have cancer, and, you know, those people, they just, Dallas, he serves everything that he is, you know, to worship, and then he has a brain tumor. Like, things like that just don't make sense to me. I understand that God is the creator, that God is the healer. Yeah. But just why?